Next video, we are going to winterize the director's cabin. First step is to find the proper zone for that building, which is that one right there, runs down to the cabin. Make sure it's open. I've got air pressure running through the system to help purge things out. Everything else is shut off. The service center, the line that goes out towards the fire ring, and air is coming from this line here, which is tied to the latrine back there. You can't see it. In my last video, you kind of saw how air can be a little tricky if you're trying to isolate buildings with water still in other parts of the system. It's hard to fully get the water out of some of those spots, so you're always best just planning to try to gravity drain everything. I like to just use air as a helper, and to get water out of funky spots like on-demand water heaters, you want to get those dry. There's a lot of thin copper tubing in those. So anyway, back to it. All right, once again, first thing, we want to make sure we've got no power going to our water heater. So find the breaker. This one's hot water heater is right here. It's hard to make it out. Shut her down. This panel is underneath the bump out under the building. All right, I'm gonna drain the water heater first, because I think that's what the issue was on the service center with a ton of water being leftovers, because I didn't do the water heater first. There we go. Let her drain. Be patient. Don't forget to take a moment and enjoy the views when you can. All work and no play. You know what they say. Oh, baby. All right, now that we got air coming through that only, we're going to go up and do the rest of the bathroom, the kitchen, and the laundry space in this building. We'll start in the kitchen. We'll do the bathroom last, because then we can flush the toilet last. All right, open up the kitchen sink valves. All right. You feel confident that mostly air is coming out, you can shut those. Next, we got to get water drained out of the water inlet for the washing machine. Personally, I think the best way is to disconnect the water lines off the back of the washing machine, and then we can use air to push the water. We'll put those down the drain and let air push the water down and out. That way we don't have to use a bucket. All right, those are disconnected. And we're gonna hold that in there like that. That is the hot water side, and then we're gonna open the valve up slowly, because a lot of air pressure is gonna come pushing out of that. Like so. Might need to use two hands for this. I definitely have to use two hands. Too much air pressure. All right, now once you're done with that, just leave the hoses down there. I still made a little bit of a mess. No big. All right, now we'll go to the bathroom and we use that air to purge all that crap. First, the faucet. Oh, look, we already got air coming out. Hot, cold, both. Nice. Do the shower. Leave that on until all we got is some air. There we go, that sounds good. And last but not least, we're gonna flush the toilet. I have to flush it twice. There we go, air coming out. Now the system's pretty much purged with air. There's going to be some remaining stuff, like I said before, so we're going to go re-isolate this building, shut the air pressure off to it, up at that main zone up here, and then we'll go and open everything up and put antifreeze in. There we go. Off. That's what bit me earlier. Stupid hose clamp. All right, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to open up the lowest things first, starting with the water heater, which is already pretty much drained, but we're going to open that back up so it can continue to drain if there's anything left. Still got some air pressure, baby. Oh look, snack. Have yourself a snack when you can. These are wintergreen berries. They're not winterberry, they're wintergreen berries. And they taste like wintergreen, just like the gum. It's pretty good. You don't want to eat too many of them though, because it has the same compound that's kind of like aspirin. So yeah, eat in moderation. but it tastes just like a piece of chewing gum. So if you get stinky breath, maybe it'll help. All right, back to work. So we got a hose bib right here. Want to open it, but you also want to disconnect the hose bib because water is going to get trapped if we don't. And these are the two low points. This is the hot water low point. So open that up. And this is the cold water low point. Another thing that might take two hands. There you go. Open that up. And that's the lowest point of the system for this building. So it should drain the remaining bits of water out right there. All right, now we can just open everything up and start adding our antifreeze. So we open up the sink, add antifreeze to the trap. Again, that's one of these buildings that is going to get used most likely in the wintertime. You don't want that sewer gas smell coming back, so use antifreeze for every single trap. You got to get antifreeze in the trap here. See, there's a little, it's actually an S trap. You're not supposed to do that, guys, but we got a trap there that needs some antifreeze behind the washing machine. That should be good. All right, antifreeze for the bathroom sink. Open the faucet for the shower. You don't need a lot. The traps are very small on these. And then open the shower. Shouldn't have to worry about the shower head. Most of the water comes out of that. If you are worried about it, you can spin it off and put it someplace warm. I'm not worried about it. And last but not least, I couldn't find a plunger, so we're just going to use a little extra antifreeze. Make sure that that is nice and pink. Double check, make sure we're flushed all the way. And antifreeze in the toilet. A little more for good measure. Yeah, that makes me feel better. See, that was pretty easy, right? All right, last thing we're gonna do is just, again, clean up, lock up, close the bathroom, put up a sign, put a screw in it, whatever you feel comfortable with. This one doesn't have a lockable door, so I'm gonna do both sign and put a screw in. I guess the other thing you could do is you could go and get that little tape and sign that you can put on the toilet, so people know that it's winterized. But I don't trust people. One note for that building that we just winterized: it does have a sewage ejection pump that pumps all the way up into a leach field up here. So keep that in mind. We haven't had any issues with that sewage ejection pump in the winter, freezing or anything like that. So I wouldn't be too worried about it, but just making a note for the future me's. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Remember to always double check. I forgot to reopen the water valves on the back of that washing machine. It's fixed now. Make sure you get everything.